This week on the Jock and Nerd podcast, we review the movie that introduced international audiences to the amazing Tony Jaa, Ong Bak, the Thai warrior, plus writer's strike update, Disney and Hulu to combine content, the Frontrunners to be cast in Superman Legacy revealed, Fast X gives away the whole movie in a new trailer, will Christopher Nolan's Oppenheimer perform well at the box office this summer, and more. All in this edition of the Jock and Nerd Weekly for Monday, May 15th, 2023.
This is Frank Grillo. You know me. But who are you? Are you the discerning, sophisticated type of person who enjoys all the latest comic book and superhero TV and movie news? Pop culture references, witty banter? Me neither. I'm just here for the dick jokes.
Check. Check one. All right, this is for all you fans out there. Let's give it up. We talking, we nerding. We funny, disturbing. We talking, we nerding. We spoiler alert. Oh yeah!
Hello, listener. What's up? Thanks for pressing play and welcome to the Jock and Nerd podcast, where we give you comic book and superhero, TV and movie news, reviews, and whatever we choose. Jock and Nerd. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
And he's a nerd.
And joining us, front runner to play Superman in James Gunn's new movie, it's Rug Boy. What's up, Rugs?
Wow, kneel before Zod. I am the son of Jor-El.
Zod'll have to get down pretty low to lower his head from your height.
Yeah, he's going to have to get on the ground.
He's going to have to be lie down before Superman. I think he'd make a good Clark Kent. What do you think, Anthony?
What?
Yeah, if Rug Boy was to play Superman in the James Gunn movie, I think it would be very different. And it would work.
I did wear a Superman costume on Halloween. Remember that?
Maybe they could cast Ruggs as Jimmy Olsen.
Oh, I guess, with the heavy camera weighing his little puppet body down.
How about Louis Lame?
Louis Lame? Is that
Yeah,
Louis?
let me do a gender swap.
See, I like this. This is progressive.
Yeah.
You put a Felty in as
Yeah,
Louis Lame.
Yeah, like Clark Kent can tongue my slack hole. Everybody will love it.
There we go.
We'll
I
cash in.
got to the slack hole joke. That's what.
Exactamundi.
Ding, ding, ding. That's it. Okay, we can move on now. Hey, we got a great extra movie I'm excited to talk about later, and some fun geek news. Let's dive in.
The Jock and Nerd podcast.
Writer's strike update. They're still on strike.
I guess that's all we need to know, right?
Me too. You know what? I'm not going to go week by week update unless something crazy happens, because literally this thing
You could just start every show while they're on strike and go, yep, still on strike.
still on strike. I mean, and this thing may go till like September, possibly October. So
Jeez.
yeah, I think it's going to be as long as the last one. Here's something I forgot to mention last week when we talked about the writers going on strike. One of the things they are fighting for, and this seems like they shouldn't have to fight for this, is the transparency of streaming numbers from the streaming companies. Right now, you're trying to negotiate residuals, meaning every time a thing gets played or watched, I should get a little piece of that, just like it was on TV, just like the deals were. Well, I don't think it's any secret that none of these streamers disclose any of their fucking streaming numbers.
Oh, shit.
So and they can say whatever they want, and you know for damn sure they have the data. They know how many people watch 30 seconds of it, watch half of it, watch the whole thing. They have this data, and it's their business. But should they be disclosing this data? I mean, it would help lots of things, and
They should be privy to some kind of documentation that tells them what the numbers are. But I think that the old school way was there was advertisers, and advertisers wanted to know
that's correct
who was tuning in.
Yeah,
Right.
So it's not advertiser based, or maybe it will be at some point, and
That's a good
that'll
point.
play a role.
Good point.
But it shouldn't be public knowledge if they don't want it to be.
Sure. But you work on a thing and it blows up and you have no idea how many people actually watched it. That's frustrating, and you cannot negotiate any money. What do you think, Ethan?
No, yeah, I mean, not knowing that's, but the thing is, the streamers do that because it gives them the leverage in the negotiations, right?
Yeah.
So when you're negotiating and you don't know how much you're really worth because you don't know how many people are watching it. That gives the streamer more leverage in the negotiation to kind of lowball you because you don't know what you're worth.
Yeah, they get.
Why do you think they don't disclose anything? I mean, I just said about the advertising, but what do you think the other reason is? Like, they just think it's advantageous to like
I think
keep
it's
everybody
just,
in
they
mystery.
Just keep it, because then they can kind of control the narrative.
I bet I just wonder how much the numbers are exaggerated and how much they lie and just say whatever they want.
Isn't there like some group that's starting to track shit?
There is like a third party. I forgot the name of this website, this company that we've used their data, but it's a third party and they got to I don't know how they gathered their data, but somehow they do get some kind of numbers, which is helpful. Maybe it should
Isn't Nielsen also involved?
Nielsen, I don't think is involved with streaming. That is a good question.
Nielsen's not involved, I don't think, with streaming.
Oh,
Nielsen
wow.
was always, I think Nielsen was always just regular TV.
No, they have, it looks like they do it. There is a Nielsen streaming charts.
Because it's self-reporting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't Nielsen working on like self-reporting?
I wonder how they get that data because the analog old school way was like they would go to people's houses and put this box on their TV and whatever you watch would be tracked for like a week and you would journal it and submit it. And that was their small sample size of Nielsen.
It's inevitable. They're going to start. This stuff's going to be public knowledge soon. It's got to be because if this writer's strike goes through and you have Nielsen starting in another third party, eventually it's just going to be out there.
Yeah, I wonder if this writer's strike will force their hand in the numbers, if they'll compromise this secret number.
It's inevitable. It's just when it's going to happen.
This thing's going to go on for a while. Here is an updated partial list of shows that have been affected. And this is just stuff we talk about, shows I care about. It's just a partial list. There's a lot more. But shows affected immediately right now and or season 2. Blade, we talked about last week. The final season of Cobra Kai is going to be delayed. Daredevil Born Again, we mentioned. The Game of Thrones prequel, which is called A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, The Hedge Knight. This is a new prequel.
Oh, yeah? Wow. I didn't know they had a new prequel coming out.
That is delayed. House of the Dragon Season 2 is affected. Rings of Power Season 2, the Lord of the Rings show. Severance Season 2, the final season of Stranger Things. Season 2 of Last of Us. And Yellow Jacket Season 3, which is only one of the best shows nobody's watching because it's on Showtime. Season 2 is coming out right now. I love that show. But this and a lot. Oh, you know what I heard from John Campia? This is an interesting effect of the writer's strike, that even movies that are done, that are scheduled to be released soon, are being pushed back. Why? Say you have like an R-rated comedy or some niche movie where you really do rely on the cast going on talk shows, doing talk show appearances to talk up the movie and sell it, some weird niche original IP. Well, they can't do that. And a lot of these movies, I think, most of their marketing is we're getting these people on the talk shows to talk about our movie. Spread the word.
Why can't they talk about it on talk shows?
All the talk shows are dark right now. Nobody's shooting because those fuckers are writing things every day.
Okay.
They're all in reruns. There are essentially no new talk shows happening, late night, daytime, any of that shit. So I thought that was interesting. Another effect. And then this story comes out that some studios, namely Disney and Warner Brothers, the big ones, are kind of forcing showrunners to work during the writer's strike, forcing them to cross the picket line, because there's some writer producers, but ABC sent a letter to its showrunners saying, we want to reiterate to you as a showrunner or other writer producer that you are not excused from performing your duties as a showrunner and or producer on your series as a result of the strike. So it says in here, they want them to do something called services A through H, commonly referred to A through H, services as a producer, such as cutting for time, small changes to dialogue, or narration made before or during production, and changes in technical or stage directions. But this one guy who was a longtime showrunner says the rules prohibit from performing any writing services, including the A through H functions, the rules of the strike. So essentially, these big companies are forcing these showrunners to make a choice between, their employer and the union, and It's a little messy. It's union busting techniques from companies that were built on union labor.
Well,
That's all I'm saying.
easy solve to this. Just hire a bunch of podcasters, and then there you go.
Hey, we'll write your shit for you. We don't give a shit.
We don't write anything.
That's right. We'll just make it up. It's not writing.
Yeah, we'll make it up as we go.
We'll just make it up, and you can just record it and write it down. And
I can
whatever.
interview fucking Nicolas Cage without a script.
Yeah, well, interviews is different. It's like all the monologue writing for the talk shows, right? But we could just
Yeah, we just freeball it.
we just freeball it. Then this happens. Then this guy went to get ice cream. Then he has a gun, and then they fight. Put eco waste in it. And this time make them fight.
I mean, for some of these movies we just watched, they're really that there was no plot writing at all.
Not
It was
much.
just,
Yeah,
No.
yeah. The movie we're going to review this week. Kind
just
of
go get we go retrieve something.
Yes, just go shoot this. We'll work it out at post. Just make some cool shots. So, anyways, yeah, the writer's strike can be going on a long time, and Disney is forcing these people to work. Meanwhile, Bob Iger, Disney CEO, on the latest earnings call, has basically said, "We're buying Hulu, bitches."
Oh, shit.
Oh,
Hollywood Reporter reporting Disney will be combining Hulu content with Disney Plus content into one app in the U.S. This is going to begin to roll out by the end of the calendar year. Both services they'll remain standalone.
What? How does that make any sense?
They'll have a bundle but the Hulu stuff is going to end up on Disney Plus, I think. It's a little confusing.
Wait, what? I don't get it.
He says we will continue to offer Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus as standalone options, but they're also going to start combining the content to grow the wealth of content on one. These articles, there's been a little weird. That's all they've been saying.
That's weird. I don't really understand. Until I understand that, I don't know how to comment on it.
And you only get it if you're subscribed to both things or something. Apparently they're both going to be standalone, but then Disney's just going to get.
So then they're not combining.
But Disney's just going to get Hulu stuff. So maybe like you don't have to go to Hulu to watch things. Yeah, it's a little confusing. What's interesting is when Bob Iger first came on, his job was to cut costs, save some money, make some money. Remember, he was thinking about selling Hulu. Disney owns 2/3 of Hulu. Comcast owns 1/3. But turns out now it looks like they're going the other way. And they're just going to buy out Comcast at the beginning of the year to be a juggernaut.
there can be only one.
So
win.
my question about all this brings up the question, like we saw HBO and Discovery merge. We've seen Netflix who have said we're never going to, we'll always let you share passwords. We're never going to have ads. Start to crack down on password sharing and put ads in. Is this the beginning of the end of like this streaming model? Is there too much streaming? Is it just going to now cannibalize itself into these bundles? Where do you guys see it right now?
I feel like, yes, they're probably going to keep merging and pruning. So they'll get a bunch of shit. They'll have too much shit. Then they'll streamline it down so they can save costs. And then hopefully, there is a lot of content that no one's watching. And we don't really know this because we don't have the numbers. We can't look it up. But there's shit that I know that no one watches.
Yeah.
But it's there. So maybe that will make it easy. Because right now, like, there's so many options. There's so many things out. It's impossible to watch everything unless you're Imran, and then you can watch it all.
And remember where everything is. Like, where the fuck did I watch this? What is this on?
Yeah. So some of this merging and then streamlining probably is a good thing. How many do we got now? That are big?
I easily pay for like 8 or 9, I believe.
Yeah. If you just want to list them, it's Netflix. You got HBO Max will become Max, Disney Plus, Amazon Prime, Hulu, ESPN Plus, Paramount, The Cock, Apple TV.
Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5,
That's
6,
9?
7, 8, 9. That's 9. I mean,
right
it's 8.
there, and then and then all the offshoots and all that stuff. So yeah,
And then there's like other ones like MGM that are
There's and then
littler ones. Yeah,
AMC has one.
Stars, AMC's.
Showtime rolled themselves into Paramount Plus, so you can get like Paramount Plus with Showtime content.
What I think is going to happen, I actually agree with Ruggs. I think this will start to merge into, because there's too many, right?
Yeah.
It'll start to merge. They'll raise the price on it.
Yeah, that's been happening too.
They'll raise the price on it. They'll start doing these tiers, which they're already doing. So this is nothing new. Like I'm not predicting anything. They'll start doing the ad tiers because there's a lot of revenue in getting ads back in the game.
Yeah.
That's how TV networks were making money, as we touched on earlier with the ads, right?
Yep.
So they'll start doing the ad tiers. They'll charge more for the ad-free tiers, which they're already doing. And I agree with Ruggs. I think they're probably just going to start lowering the amount of content they have on these. Like, just start cutting out the crap that no one's watching. They have all that data.
Yeah.
Just cut it all out. I don't know if that saves them money. I would assume it might save them a little bit of money in terms of like servers and maybe who they're paying for this stuff. Just start cutting out all the useless stuff and really making these more robust. Because when everything's at your fingertips the way it is right now, it's there's literally just too much.
Yeah, imagine, if you will. Okay, the way they have things now, they're throwing all this money in different directions, looking for it to retain clientele, right? People to keep watching this network. What if you could put your money into a very successful franchise and keep it going at a high quality, and the episodes just keep coming out? There's not a year-long lull. There's not, maybe they have a 2-month hiatus or a 3-month hiatus, and then they're back on.
But you wouldn't even need that. You could keep it going.
Because that's what TV used to be, right?
Well,
they used to have like 30 episodes.
24,
and then they take it
22 to 24, and there used to be like summer new TV season, pilot season, and it would start in September, October. That doesn't even really exist anymore. Like,
no, they could probably get back to that. And if you think about it, an hour-long TV show with commercials is actually 40 minutes. That's what the Mandalorians are, right?
44 minutes minus commercials.
So it's not an impossible feat.
What are we talking about, though? We're essentially talking about turning everything back into fucking television where it started. We were happy with these streaming services, and now it's going to be like cable companies.
I think
television.
Potentially they're realizing that there's no money to be made in these streaming services.
It's a big risk.
Just an endless money pit.
It is a money pit.
I also think this is a little bit out of your guys' wheelhouse, but you're seeing it already. These streaming services are starting to really invest in sports.
Yeah.
Live sports. Because live sports are still the thing that is watched the most and draws the most eyeballs, the most money. NFL has games on Amazon Prime every Thursday. They're doing the first ever exclusive live stream NFL playoff game on the Cock in 2024.
Hulu has live sports, I believe.
Hulu
YouTube has
not
sports.
not the live sports add-on, but actually just including it in your like Amazon Prime. You don't have to pay anymore to see the NFL game. You're going to start seeing the other companies, I think, investing in in sports. I think Apple TV invested a bunch of money in MLS, I believe. Let me just double check.
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah.
That Amazon NFL deal was wild, and they were pulling in like 14, 15 million viewers, and it was growing. So I think they're onto something there.
Mm-hmm. So I can't find if it was Apple TV or who. Might be Apple TV. Apple TV Plus.
Somebody needs to grab the baseball.
Sports. Yeah, no, I mean, well, baseball is not the best, but
you said MLS, soccer. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So like Apple TV, they're looking to get. They have MLS. Or they're looking at MLS. So yeah, I mean, live sports might be another thing where these companies are like, we'll throw a shit ton of money at live sports because we know people are going to watch it.
See, it all just comes back to television. Television was a great model to begin with. You can't improve it. It's coming back around.
It was great. It's just, I mean, it was fine, but this is clearly better in terms of like for a fan.
Yeah.
As far as having you can like the fact that I can I can go, okay, where I want to watch this, and I can find the app that has it and watch it immediately is great.
Yeah.
It's just, there's just so many. And it just, the cost now is more than a cable bill.
And it's also,
they're just figuring that out.
It's like a fleeting thing because I think a lot of people, and I do this, is you jump around based on the hot show. Like, oh, this show's hot, I'm going to watch it. And then I don't go back to that fucking app.
Well, there's two schools. There's the people that do that. They jump around, they cancel their subscriptions all the time.
Yeah.
Right. Well, there's three. There's that. There's the people that share, which everyone does. But then there's the other one that's kind of like me now, where it's like, I don't really watch half of these, but we're already paying for it, and it's not that we're paying for it. I just forget that we're even paying
Right.
for it, which is how a lot of subscription businesses work. They just hope you forget that you even have it.
Yeah, the subscription model is not going away as more and more other things adopt it. I see even in like software and stuff, like there's no one-off buying. But here's another thing that gets subscribers, right? Exclusive content, premieres of new movies. Here's a crazy story. Avatar, The Way of the Water just announced their streaming release date, June 7th. It is coming out on Disney Plus and HBO Max at the same time. This is very rare. You never see this, right? According to this article, it seems the reason they can do this is because of a modified agreement Disney made with Warner Media in 2021. Under the terms of the deal, Max can share the rights to films Disney's 20th Century Studios released in 2022 with Hulu and Disney Plus. So I don't even know which side is calling the shots on this. This could work to get them subscribers. Maybe the Max rebrand is going to go into effect later this month, May 23rd. But
Max, wow, what a
it's
great
just
name.
called, I know it's so stupid. It's just called Max.
Let me ask a question.
Yeah.
So, like, Avatar's going to come out on two different
Yes, on the
platforms.
same time. Who does this help? Like, if you're looking for new subscribers, where are you going to go?
Well, I think people are already subscribed. They're going to be like, which one do I watch it on?
Right? Watch it on
The
both?
question is, who do you think is going to watch it more on which platform?
Or
Well, Disney, I think, has more subscribers than HBO Max.
yeah, possibly. Yeah, probably. They got over 100 million now, something.
Mm-hmm.
So
I think that's the worst platform out of all of them. Don't you think?
Right. I just
As far as- watch the least.
When you think about Disney, you think about kind of a box you're putting yourself in as far as content, right? Like you're gonna get. It's gonna be a pretty young target in terms of your
But
content.
if they add all that Hulu shit, like you're diluting this Disney platform now. It's going to be interesting how they handle.
I would love to see them just put Hulu into Disney Plus and make it its own, like make a FX thing and make
that might happen.
Right.
But they have crazy shows like Dave. Like I can't imagine Dave being on Disney Plus. It's kind of crazy.
Maybe they'll just call it D.
D. Look
Or
at
HD
D's
Plus.
nuts. Let's call it D.
D's Plus.
D's Plus. It's just called D's. We're rebranding Disney Plus.
We're rebranding too because we can't. It's not just it's like HBO. It's not HBO
We're
anymore.
not just Disney. We're D's Nuts Plus.
D's Nuts Plus. We're going to compete with the cock. D's Nuts.
Yeah, this whole landscape is still shifting.
It's crazy how much it changes.
Yeah. Listener, let us know what platform you're going to watch Avatar The Way of the Water on. You can join this conversation. You can join our fun Facebook group. It's called Jock and Nerd Nation. There is a link in the episode description. It is a closed exclusive group for our listeners. In there is where you can leave your pick for the final 4 films that'll make it into our 21st Century Action Movie Tournament. The list of movies is there. There is going to be an update to that list. More on that later. Stay tuned. But if you want to also play along for a chance at a Jock and Nerd prize, you can go to jockandnerd.com/action movie tournament for instructions and the list of movies. Okay, speaking of HBO Warner Brothers, let's talk about the search for Superman. We finally have a little bit of clarity from Hollywood Reporter reporting the frontrunners for the roles of Clark Kent, Lois Lane, and Lex Luthor for Superman Legacy, James Gunn's Superman. The frontrunner for Clark is a dude named David Corenswet. Again, I know what you're saying. Who the fuck is this guy? He was recently in that movie Pearl with Mia Goth, Pearl's big horror movie. He is the top contender to play Clark along with.
If they're going to cast this guy, let me just comment.
Yeah,
real
let's
quick.
talk about David Corenswet.
I don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
I'm going to be complete ignorance, but he looks a lot like Henry Cavill.
Yes, he does. Good observation.
Why don't they just cast Henry Cavill if they're doing this?
In fact, Jose Ibarra left a hilarious comment on this article I posted in our Facebook group. He said, remember as a kid when your parents would be like, you don't need Lucky Charms, we have that at home, but you'd get home to a big bag of marshmallow mateys? David Corenswet is what you get when James Gunn tells us we have Henry Cavill at home. He's marshmallow mateys, which I thought was pretty funny. Regs, do you remember, actually, this name has come up before, and I think it was like over a year ago when Delhauer was on the show. He had thrown out as a casting this guy, David Cornsweet. That's where I remember this dude's name being called.
By the way, 29 years old, taller than Henry, 10 years younger, 6'4" compared to 6'1".
Oh, he's a good age, and he's taller.
Just a little bigger, but looks like him.
So he could play. He could play like a mid-20s.
And his corn is wet.
And his corn is sweat. Yes, his corns are wet.
Yeah. I love a guy with wet corns.
What do you think about this guy, Ruggs? Henry Cavill light or maybe not?
Well, I don't think I've ever seen anything he's in. So
Yeah, he's
other
not
than
in
just his look, I think he looks wise. He's fine. I mean, I don't.
Superman.
I don't think if he looks like Henry Cavill, you're in the right direction. So
Yeah, if you squint your eyes, like you think it's Henry Cavill, so that could work. Is he British? Oh no, he's American. Look at that.
Oh, good.
Oh, he's born in Philadelphia.
Keep him, yeah. Born and made in the USA. That's what we need.
Sign him up.
we need an American to be a sweaty corn man.
Fuck yeah. The other guy's name is Jacob Elordi.
I'm looking at him now.
He was
also kind of look. I mean, also kind of looks like
Cavill, huh?
a little bit, not as much, but I mean, has the Superman kind of look.
Oh yeah.
How do you spell Elordi?
Elordi. He seems younger. He is Australian.
Oh,
Wow.
He's 25, so he is like good. He could be in movies.
6'5", 6'5". So he's tall as
He's
well.
tall. He could play Clark for like 10 years.
Where did I see this dude? I feel familiar.
He was in, I said, Euphoria.
Euphoria. I didn't
He's
see that.
also best known for, he was in The Kissing Booth. What is this?
Deep Water, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, he was in Pirates of the Caribbean?
I don't know what he did there.
It looks kind of John Bellotti-ish a little bit.
I mean, let's just cast John Bellotti at that point.
I think Bellotti would be a great
John
Superman.
Bellotti's like 7'3".
Yeah, he's got the long
You've seen
structure.
him in person, right? Remember, he's a giant.
Oh, yeah, he's a big guy. I always have to look up when I talk to him. So I talk to him only when he's sitting down. Because my neck
every time
starts to
John
hurt.
Bellotti approaches, all you hear in the background is fee, fi, fo, fum.
Shit. He's not a giant. Maybe he is. But David Cornsweet.
Hi, John.
I'd be okay with David. Hi, Bellotti. David Cornsweet, I'd be okay.
I'm cool with either based on purely looking at pictures on Google right now.
Yeah, that
I have no idea what
that
they
Henry
what they really
Dickinson guy was not in the Frontrunners that we talked about. He was wrong.
These guys need to put on about 20 pounds at least.
They'll bulk
Yeah,
him
they
up.
definitely both need to bulk up.
They will bulk him up. You can imagine they can bulk him up.
They're going to
They're
give
big
them like
guys.
suit muscles.
No.
They're going to just insert them into the suit.
Lois Lane contenders. This person, Emma Mackey.
Let me take a look.
She's the star of the Netflix series Sex Education, and she will be in the Barbie movie.
She looks kind of like Margot Robbie.
Okay, how about this one? Then we have Emma Mackey looks like Margot Robbie. That's what they're trying to do.
What is going on here?
Rachel Brosnahan, who is
let me see this
Marvelous Miss Maisel. She's Maisel. I think she would be
She'd
good.
probably be great.
She has dark hair. I think she would be really good for the role.
She's another
So-
doppelganger for another actress.
Yeah.
The one from Westworld. She looks just like her.
Oh, yeah.
So here's my comments on the two of them.
Yeah.
Purely on looks.
Yeah.
Emma Mackey looks a lot like Margot Robbie. She kind of looks like an actress.
Yeah.
Rachel Brosnahan
Yeah.
looks more like your girl next door.
Yes. She has very like normal
Where it looks
person.
very like unassuming, which
Yeah.
I think is actually a good fit for Lois
yeah.
Lane.
She's great in Maisel. She's won a bunch of Emmys for being in Marvelous Miss Maisel.
Like she's pretty, but she's not someone that you'd take a second look at right away.
She's cute though. Once you watch the show, you really get charmed by her personality. And okay, look up this one. This is a weird
Yeah.
spelling. Phoebe Dynevor.
Dynevor?
Dynevor. She is from Bridgerton.
Phoebe.
And she looks not like Margot Robbie, but
she looks more like a model.
yeah, she looks like a model, absolutely. And then Samara Weaving, who is
Weaving, okay.
just in Scream 6, and that I know she has a lot of fans. So the problem with
Okay,
not
let
to
me
be
look real quick.
ageist, and
Samara Weaving looks like an actress. So if we're going,
She looks like Margot
I would go
Robbie.
Rachel. Based purely on look, I'd go with Rachel Brosnahan.
So
and Samara Weaving also kind of looks like Margot Robbie.
So the issue with Brosnahan, it says here, she delivered an outstanding audition, but, and this is the Hollywood Reporter saying this, at 32, maybe in the older range for what Gunn is ultimately hoping to achieve. a look at Metropolis heroics via 20-something characters.
Well, that's what they did with Man of Steel. What's her name? Who's the lady that plays Lois?
Amy Adams.
Amy Adams
Oh, yeah.
is about, let's see, she's currently 48.
Oh.
And Henry Cavill is 30. She's 9 years. She was 9 years older than Henry.
Oh, my
Cavill.
God.
Yeah.
Oh. So, and Brosnahan can play young. Like, I could see her as in her 20s.
I guess you would probably want to cast someone in their mid-20s.
Right, because then you're going to use them if you lock them down for like 3 movies at least. But Rachel Brosnahan, that's a really good pick.
Oh, the girl that Rachel Brosnahan looks like is Evan Rachel Wood.
Evan Rachel Wood from Westworld.
So there's plenty of like them side by side. Like, do they look like one another?
Okay, so you have
searches.
either a Margot Robbie clone or a Evan Rachel Wood clone.
There's clones of everybody.
There's clones of everybody.
Why is there so many doppelgangers?
How many people look like Ansel Elgort? It's confusing.
You know why? Because they're all white.
Oh,
I mean, Miles Teller. You
I'm
cannot
gonna
tell
go
me the
Full
difference.
racist. All white people look alike.
You cannot tell me. Oh shit! The difference between
I can
Miles
say that because I'm
Teller-
half white. I
Yeah,
can say that.
you can say
Yeah. And it's not racist when you make fun of white
Okay,
people.
all right. Wait,
Okay.
there's one more. Lex Luthor.
yes.
Okay, let's-
So
Luthor.
before I tell you who it is, apparently James Gunn talked to Bradley Cooper, voice of Rocket, to be Lex Luthor. That fell through. It's not
That'd
happening.
Whoa, that would be weird.
That'd be-
yeah.
That'd
That'd
have
be a
been
weird
weird.
choice.
Currently,
Would it be weirder?
Yeah.
Ruggs, would it be weirder than having Eisenberg as Lex Luthor?
That's worse. Eisenberg, I think, is worse.
No, I think that I don't know. I think that Bradley Cooper would do a better job,
Yeah.
I agree.
I think
hands
Cooper's-
down.
Yeah.
So-
The thing they were going with, they were going for the Mark Zuckerberg Lex Luthor, which was
that
strange.
just did not work. So it says here the only person earmarked is the classic villain Luthor, Nicholas Holt.
Beast.
Currently starring in Renfield. He was Beast in the X-Men Days of Future Past and all those movies.
I could totally see this guy shaving his head,
Oh, yeah.
looking diabolical.
But he's tall.
He is tall.
So you need a tall Clark Kent to go up against him. That's all. He was
Yeah,
also
you can't have a short Clark Kent and then Lex Luthor tower over him.
he was
That's weird.
runner-up for Matt Reeves' Batman. Apparently,
Oh.
almost got it. Almost. Got
Nicholas Holt's height. Let's see. 6'3". Yeah, he's tall.
How old is he?
33.
Oh, okay, but Lex should be older, right? He's
a little bit.
Lex Luthor.
They shouldn't do the thing though where they knew each other from like a young age, right?
Yeah, that was Smallville did that.
Smallville did
and
that.
it was kind of weird. No, it should just be like this corporate guy is evil, and he does his thing while this thing is happening over here. I don't know.
While this kid's growing up on a farm.
Yeah,
I
well,
like
this
the
kid's on
idea of how John Byrne wrote it is that Lex Luthor was like the most important, like Elon Musk, the most important guy in the world, the most powerful man in the world. He could literally do anything and do no wrong. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere comes Superman, and it takes all the attention off of him, and he starts to feel like insecure for the first
I
time.
like that. I'd like that.
Oh, and then he starts to freak out. Yeah.
So then, like, he makes it. He uses all of his wealth to kind of smear him and to try and make him look like the bad guy. And
He bought his way into being a good guy, and now this guy shows up.
yeah,
Well, I like that. That's like what would happen.
yeah, like a true good person.
Yeah.
He's just pretending to be.
He's pretending to be, yeah.
It's like that's the facade that he has. He's really a piece of shit.
I mean, we'll see. This is shaping up. I'm not mad at these Frontrunners here. If this is like where his head is at, James Gunn. I'm surprised he didn't just cast his wife as Lois Lane, but Jen
Oh,
Holland.
that would.
How many
that'd
people
be-
would that piss off?
So many tables would be flipped at like comic book stores and
all the comic book guys would
yeah,
agree.
they'd be in the middle of a D&D game and all of a sudden, or a fucking Yu-Gi-Oh game, and all of a sudden the table will get
Magic
upturned.
cards would be flung like ninja stars.
I have to say, I know we talked about it briefly last week, but when she showed up on Guardians, it
Yeah.
almost the whole theater was like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we're kind of in on the joke now that she's."
Yeah,
in this fucking
we
thing."
were like, oh, there she is. Like everybody.
Then she gets shot,
Yeah.
and it's like, "Oh, James Gunn's shooting it." Like,
Yeah.
I almost felt like he knew that this was getting to be kind of ridiculous.
Yeah. It was his message to the fans. Look, I put her in here, but then I shot her. Are we even? Are we cool now? What the fuck? That's all he's trying to do.
Loves his wife.
Yeah.
She's an actress.
Yeah. So, yeah, we'll see when this movie comes out.
Hey, listen, wasn't Sarah Connor James?
James Cameron's
yes,
wife.
yes.
Woman, yeah.
Yes. There's been
dating her.
There's a lot of nepotism in these movies. I don't know why he's getting picked on for it.
It's nippletism.
It's nepotism. It is. Look, you're excited. Feel these nipples. All right, let's finish up. I got a couple of trailers I wanted to discuss with you fellas. Anthony, you shared this one. I didn't even know this. That new Fast X, the movie, is coming out this Friday, May 19th. And for some reason, they have put out a 4.5-minute fucking trailer the week before it comes out. I watched the trailer. We all watched the trailer. What are your thoughts? Ruggs, you said it earlier. Let's just start with you.
First of all, I feel like I've seen the entire film, like all the good parts anyway. There's about 4 minutes of like explosions and cars doing fucking gymnastics. I feel like, why buy the cow? I just fucking sucked up all the milk.
At like 3 minutes in, I'm like, oh, I don't need to go see the movie anymore. They're just, they're going to show me all the good shit here. But I did kind of like how it goes into the first few movies, the nostalgia in the beginning. Anthony, what'd you think? It's heavily action based. And honestly, the more trailers I see of these, like the action looks fucking dope in this.
Yeah, I mean, the movie, the franchise at this point is somewhat of a joke. And they kind of realize it by the fact that John Cena's a villain in the last one. Now he's cracking jokes. You've got Jason Statham, who was a villain who killed Han's
now showing up at his door, or no,
showing up his door, and they're both like, "Let's put some people in body bags and shit." So, and they have every big name in here. Now you got Brie Larson in this. You've got everyone.
Alan Ritchson, that big dude from Jack Reacher, I didn't know is also in there. He's huge.
The fact that they'd released a 5-minute trailer almost before the week the movie comes out,
desperate.
It seems a little desperate. It seems like maybe they're trying their best they can to drum up interest in this. That seems like a desperate move.
I did notice how in that long scene where Michelle Rodriguez, is that Michelle Rodriguez?
Yes.
Is fighting Charlize Theron, and it ties into the movie we're going to review. It looks like she's doing some fucking Muay Thai flying knee kick shit. I was like, oh, look at that. Look at that.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course.
One from the greats.
That scene looked pretty brutal. And yeah, they're showing you some jokes, and that
they even say in the trailer they've defied gravity multiple times. Yeah. Like if there's something in a car, they can do it, and they can do it multiple times. Like they know what this is.
That one movie where they steal the vault and it's strapped to their car, and there's a chase, right? The giant vault from the bank. I was watching this Corridor Crew stuntmen react video, and apparently there's like half a truck and a driver in that vault, like driving around as they're filming that stunt, which I was like, that's fucking crazy and cool.
That was one of the best things they'd ever done.
Yeah, he could actually control like how it whipped around, and he would practice drifting in that box.
I mean, the series has gotten to be kind of a joke, but I still maintain that Fast Five.
Oh, that was Fast Five. Okay,
that was Fast Five, and it was awesome. They were doing some great shit in that movie.
I mean, this movie
kind of fell off a cliff after 7.
Yeah,
but Fast Five is in the tourney for a reason. That fucking bank vault seat's awesome.
So the first Fast and the Furious was like a car movie.
It was Point Break with cars.
Yeah, and then Too Fast, Too Furious was still kind of like just a little bit more of a heisty movie, maybe.
It was still a crime, like a espionage, like a Paul Walker's jumping in and trying to infiltrate. That was Too Fast, Too Furious. It was in Miami.
So was the fourth one where they started to turn into ridiculous, and then 5 was where they perfected it, or?
Yeah, so 3 was Tokyo Drift. That got real strange in terms of just the casting. 4, they started to get a little weird. They brought the old cast back.
It's like Fast and Furious, right?
Yeah, but then 5 is when they really turned it up to 11, and we're like, we're just making this now a heist thing. Because Fast 4 still had the racing aspect to it, where they were still competing in some sort of race, but also dealing with drug crime lords. And then 5, they were like, screw the racing shit. Like we'll touch on it, but it's more about these guys are now expert criminals.
And then by 9, they're like going into space and shit. I don't know what happened. The fuck?
Yeah, I mean, how many movies can you make about cars? before the
Well, they're making one more.
you jump the shark.
Yeah, they are going to make one more. I'll tell you, though, this
No,
trailer...
I saw rumors they're going to make this
another
one.
and another one, right?
I read a rumor, that Vin
more.
Diesel was saying that
I
this
heard that.
Fast 10 is part of a trilogy.
I heard that, too, and that they're going to fucking milk it and string it. And they probably... They would make money if they did it.
They're still releasing Transformers films, so...
Yeah, you know what? I heard that movie. I don't think it's going to be any good. I heard from the John Roker show that he said that it had been through 11 different editing companies to get a final cut, and it's a little bit of a mess. So, unfortunately, I don't see how the movie could come out good after being edited by 11 different companies, and they still couldn't figure out.
Which movie is this?
Beast Wars, Rise of the Beast, whatever. The Beast.
Oh
Beast
my
movie.
God,
Yeah,
that's terrible.
Yeah, that's bad. So lower your expectations for that one. This trailer almost made me go like, maybe I'll go see this movie. I'm still not going to go see it. I'll catch it later, but it almost did that effect to me. These next set of trailers though, really do have that effect on me. Switching gears sort of completely from, mindless action to brainy blockbuster Oscar movie in the summer. I'm talking about Chris Nolan and his next movie, Oppenheimer. There's a pair of trailers out. They put out a newer trailer, I think a week ago. And this movie's coming out July 21st, right? This is your summer tentpole blockbuster season. But these trailers are so compelling and amazing. The cinematography, the idea of the history that he's tapping into, recreating the Trinity test from 1945, is amazing. What do you guys think of the trailer? And is this like kind of, I don't want to say a return or a coming back of Nolan after Tenet, which came out in a weird time and it was very indulgent. This one, clearly the characters have names and there's no confusing time travel. But an important story about the building of the nuclear bomb during World War II.
I feel like it could be a very dark film.
Yeah.
Which might not get people into the theater.
Well, it's a dark subject.
Yeah, it's a dark subject matter, but I feel like that he's going to destroy this film. It's going to be great. Like he's going to nail it. Because when Nolan has got something like to anchor, like Batman or something like, he really like, or his other movies, the other war movies that he's done,
Dunkirk,
yeah, he really does a great job translating that stuff, and he's a stickler for it, and he has a high bar. So. Yeah, I think it's going to be a great film. I don't know if a lot of people are going to go out and watch it. I think people like us who are into this shit will go.
He did write it along with two other writers. So
you think it's got box office like blockbuster written on it?
I mean, it's definitely looks like Oscar worthy. But Anthony, what do you think? It's weird that he's releasing this in the summer.
Yeah, and I'm just looking at the budget. It's $100 million. So they've got to get a lot of people to watch this.
Yeah.
Nolan has a lot of cachet. When Nolan's one of the few directors that you say throw Christopher Nolan on it, and the casual person goes, "Oh, that might be a good film. I might have to go see that." Now, the subject matter is, it's kind of boring for the most casual people.
Yeah.
I mean, the life of theoretical physicist Robert Oppenheimer and how he made the atom bomb. Not the most. If you're like me who enjoys World War II history. I think it's somewhat interesting. Even then, I don't know if I would see this in a movie theater. You do have the spectacle aspect with IMAX and the explosions. This is an interesting release. This is an interesting move. I don't know. Absolutely. I don't really know what to make of it. If it's going to be if it's going to be good, it'll probably be good. But I wasn't a big fan of Tenet. But then two, given the amount of money spent on it, will it actually make money? I don't know.
So look, the cast is pretty amazing. Obviously, you have Cillian Murphy as J. Robert Oppenheimer.
One thing. This is the first movie not to be distributed by Warner Brothers for Nolan.
Yes, after he left Warner Brothers during the pandemic when the last guy decided to release everything day and date on streaming, and Nolan's like, "Fuck you, I'm out," and then gives us Tenet, and then we're all like, "Fuck you, Chris Nolan, my brain hurts." What the fuck?
This is the opposite of Titanic.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Because Titanic is a love story with a tragedy in it.
Yeah.
And this is a straight up
tragedy
telling of like some of the scariest shit that could happen and how they got to that point.
Yeah.
And that could be compelling, like an Apollo 13 or something like that.
Yeah.
Or Schindler's List.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think back in those times in the 90s and stuff, Schindler's List was like, people were looking for something like that. Yeah. They were looking for that type of very raw, very in-your-face storytelling. I think people right now aren't as into that stuff.
I mean, you see parts like that are in black and white that like are during the trial after the test, but just like the ethics and the morality and what goes through a guy's head when his project is to, how can I make the biggest explosion that's going to kill the most people effectively before the Nazis and the Germans get the bomb, under pressure. The cast is Cillian Murphy. You see Matt Damon, Emily Blunt, Robert Downey Jr.
Like everybody's in this.
Jack Quaid, Josh Hartnett, Olivia Thirlby, Rami Malek, Gary Oldman, Kenneth Branagh, Alden Ehrenreich, David Dastmalchian, and Dane DeHaan in this
Jason
cast.
Clark.
And yeah, also, when you see the explosion, just know this. Chris, we know Nolan. He's a guy who dropped a plane, cut it in half in the beginning of Dark Knight Rises for real, who bought a plane to crash in Tenet. He has recreated the first nuclear weapon detonation, the Trinity test, with real explosives. There will be no CGI when you watch the footage of the explosion test, which is fucking boggles the mind.
Imagine, this would be a great meta story if he created a nuclear bomb and he tested it, and then that's what creates the actual Godzilla.
Nolan, and then he makes a movie, but Nolan is responsible for Godzilla because he wanted to make a real nuke for the movie.
Yeah.
There is a funny video out that totally fooled me. Somebody made a fake video that says Nolan dropped a real nuke, and I don't know, they took this featurette and they cut it to make it seem like they actually did detonate a real nuclear bomb. And then I had to be like, wait a minute, what the fuck? And I had to Google it. And I was like, okay, this is not real.
They just needed a bomb of a much smaller size that they could detonate without bothering anyone.
Well, and like the slow-mo and the close-ups you see in the trailer, like the cinematography, it looks amazing. It looks amazing. I'm excited for that one, July 21st. All right, that's it for the news. We're going to take a quick break here. Come back, talk about some Muay Thai fighting in an awesome 2000s action movie right after this.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
What's up? This is Brian, and I'm the host of Citizens of Pawnee, a Parks and Recreation podcast. That's right, a podcast dedicated to my favorite TV show, Parks and Rec. Every week I discuss my favorite things about the show, which include character breakdowns, episode rewatches, and other random facts and tidbits about the show. You can find me on Instagram at Citizens of Pawnee Podcast and listen wherever you get your podcast now. You will literally love it.
Hey there, everyone. Brian here, host of TV Trivia Pod. It's a trivia-style podcast focusing on TV and movies. Listen in for questions like, what's the name of Michael Scott's screenplay? What do you say to view the Marauders map? And what's everyone eating in the post-credit scene of Avengers? Play along to TV Trivia Pod anywhere you get podcasts. And stay tuned for more trivia.
Jock and Nerd.
Listener, if you like this podcast, if it makes you giggle, if it makes you cringe, if it evokes any kind of feeling, right now is a great time to join our fan club on Patreon. Visit jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Jock and Nerd. And you will get stuff based on the tier you pledge. We appreciate everyone's continuing support. You can give back and get access to a podcast feed where there is bonus content. Shows come out early. You can listen to how we picked our forthcoming 21st century action movie tournament movie selection in the draft. And there's a couple of updates to that to listen. And in fact, this week there will be another update.
Oh, shit.
Why is that, Anthony?
I don't know. Why is that, Ruggs?
Well,
Do we want to reveal it, or how do you want to?
You have to listen. Basically, we are changing the list.
Okay. There.
yes, something happened,
A movie has been disqualified.
and we were like, nope, we got to change it again.
Which movie is it? You're going to have to sign up and listen to find
That's
out.
right.
You'll find, and then shortly I'll change. Well, then once I change the list on Facebook, everyone will know. But
It's a mystery.
anyways, a lot of
Give us money and you can find out.
yeah, give us money. You'll find out what happens. Those are fun things.
Yeah.
But that's not it. You also get access to our Discord hangout, which we do once a month. We all get together and geek out. This month's hangout is this week, Ruggs, this Thursday,
Oh, shit.
March 18th. Exactly.
Oh, this Thursday, I'm
Yeah.
out.
All right,
I
well,
have to make fun of Amron by myself?
Yeah,
yes,
I got to pack.
It's fine.
Just
Ah,
sorry,
Jesus.
listeners. I'm going to Vegas, so I got to pack.
I mean, Anthony's going to be Anthony. You know what are you going to do? The Jock's going to Jock.
you got me for like you had a good run where
we
you got me
did.
3 or 4 months in a
fine.
row.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Yeah.
He'll be back. We'll take it, and then we'll be back once it gets cold again. I don't know.
Yeah, it's summer, baby.
Yeah, it's summer right now, so Anthony's got a Jock. Also, there's a You Pick a tier where you can pick any movie for us to watch and review for you. It's a lot of fun. jockandnerd.com/Patreon. Speaking of the 21st Century Action Movie Tournament, this week's movie review is a movie in the tournament. It is 2003's Ong Bak, the Thai Warrior. Here is your spoilers.
Strap yourselves in, you fucks. Spoiler time.
This movie, also known as Ong Bak Muay Thai Warrior, I believe it's the original Thai title, but in the U.S., it came out as Ong Bak the Thai Warrior in 2003 on Rotten Tomatoes. The tomato meter is at 85%, 7 out of 10 average rating from critics, 84% from the audience. Movie was made on a slim budget of $1 million, $1.1 million, and goes home to take a box office of $20 million, which what is that? A 20x return? That's not bad.
It's pretty damn good.
For a $1 million movie. The movie is directed by this guy, Prachya Pinkao. But there's going to be a lot of weird Thai names here. The ones you do want to remember are the guy who did the stunt choreography. His name is Pana Ritikrai. He also co-wrote the movie. And this is the movie that introduced international audiences to two things, I believe. Tony Jaa and traditional Muay Thai. Pana Ritikrai was also...
I wouldn't
No?
go that far. but
Okay.
yeah.
Didn't?
Not the second point. The
Okay,
first
we'll
point,
talk
sure.
about that. It introduced international audiences to Tony Jaa. Pana Ritikrai is also Tony Jaa's mentor and himself a veteran director of B-movie action films. Anthony, had you seen this before, Ong Bak?
Not until I watched it for a couple weeks ago for the upcoming tournament. So
All
no, I
right.
have not seen it. I
It's-
was aware of the movie. I knew it existed. I knew of Tony Jaa. I'd seen clips of him doing stuff, but I'd never sat down and watched the movie.
Okay, me too. This is my first time watching. I'm glad I watched The Protector last week, and following up with this has been great. What happens in Ong Bak, the Thai Warrior?
Ong Bak is about this village in Thailand where some criminals steal the head of their, I guess it's Ong Bak, right? They
Ong
call it
Bak is the Buddha, yeah.
Yeah. Steal the Buddha's head, and this devastates the village, so they have to send in Ting, played by Tony Jaa, into Bangkok to go and retrieve it, and he gets into all sorts of shenanigans trying to retrieve this thing. That's it.
Yeah.
It's a pretty simple fucking plot.
It's like in Indiana Jones when the Indian guy's like, you'll go to Bangkok and bring Ong Bak back. Get the stones from Bangkok. Yeah. You know what? The plot is simple and straightforward and largely...
The plot is there to service Tony Jaa.
Yes. Largely unnecessary.
Let's just get him into the city and have him fight people.
Yep, and that's what happens. All right, so watching Ong Bak for the first time, Anthony, I want to know your reaction, your impression of the Tony Jaa and Ong Bak.
Well, I mean, the first thing you have to mention when you see this is just, this is like, I'm going to make another sports analogy, but this is like LeBron James this is like LeBron James when he had bad teams,
Yeah.
and he's just carrying the entire team to the finals.
Yeah,
That's basically what this is, because Tony Jaa is just, his athleticism is just insane, and his fight skills are so insane. The rest of the movie's nothing really without him. He basically makes the entire movie.
Yeah.
Everything else around him is just kind of quirky, and there's some like funny little bits. It's made in a way that is not your traditional American movie. There's like quirkiness, but then there's some like violence in it that you're like, where the hell did that come from? And you have a friend with blonde hair that's kind of a buffoon. So it's like kind of a quirky, jokey action movie that has a silly premise. But again, it just, Tony Jaa's athleticism just jumps off the screen. I mean, I rewatched some of the fight scenes. Those are great. But even the chase scene where he's jumping through shit, and doing backflips or front flips. And I mean, it's just, that guy has like springs in his body, the way he's moving around. I mean, it's really a one-man show.
he does seem to defy gravity and fly at certain points, and it's amazing. You know, it's a good movie. I found myself watching it going, holy shit, let me run that back. What the fuck did he just do there? I would rewind these scenes just to watch them again.
They show you shit 3 times so you can believe it.
Yes, we'll talk about that. Ruggs,
Instant replay is a thing in this movie.
yes. Ruggs, what's your history with this movie? I'm sure you've seen this before.
Oh, as you know, I am a person who likes these types of movies, and I watch a lot of Asian movies. So when somewhere on the scene, I think I was hitting up my old internet spots where I would get suggestions for movies, and I think it might have been Dark Horizons or Ain't Cool News back in the day. Said, oh, I just saw the fucking craziest movie at this film festival. Well, it hadn't even come out here yet. And I was like, when that movie comes out, I'm fucking getting it, because they were talking about comparisons to Bruce Lee, athleticism, like dynamics, and like just fucking shit that you've never seen before. And I'm like, in a movie, I mean, I've seen every Hong Kong action film.
Yeah.
What's going to surprise me now?
Yeah.
And I fucking found this movie. I searched everywhere for it, got it on, and I watched it on a region-free player, a DVD player that I had. And I sat back and I was just blown away by this movie. Tony Jaa, to me, in this movie is like watching like the best athlete do something fucking crazy.
He's
just
badass.
like, because it opens up with this scene where they're climbing trees.
Yes, a tree climbing contest.
There's no like wires on anybody. They're fucking falling off the tree.
Yeah, and there's wide shots of them just getting shoved and
Like,
falling to the ground.
This is like, okay, in Thailand, there's no rules. You could just fucking kill people on screen. And you know what? The realness, the reality of that, or the well-stagedness, or the fact that they were just going for it in this movie, like, you're never going to see that again. Like, I think standards have gone up since then.
Yes,
and
OSHA and safety standards, maybe.
Sure, like, you can't just throw people off trees anymore. It was just, to me, even watching it again, I just watched it again the other night, and I was just like, oh, I forgot he did this shit. He, like, sometimes you don't even know what's coming out of him. Like, you think he's going to punch somebody, and all of a sudden, he hits him with a knee.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden,
you don't know where it's
like,
coming from.
You don't know where, how it's going to land. And he doesn't just do something like a normal guy would. Like, okay, I'm going to shove this guy out of the way because... No, he's going to fly. He's going to flip backwards and hit you with the back of his foot in your face.
There's some amazing moves in here, yeah.
So he's constantly, like, showing off. It's like, I remember, like, the first time I saw Jackie Chan, modern Jackie Chan movie with, like, that wasn't, like, where I was like, I can't believe this guy's doing all this shit. And this is how I felt when I saw this movie. I was like, dude, this dude is going to be huge. And then, like... He was in Fast and the Furious for 5 minutes, and that was it. Like, they never gave Tony Jaa a proper American debut.
Right.
Which is sad because, like, people would probably dig this shit. But this is a great martial arts film. I think it's one of the, I would say, top 15.
Damn. I know it,
maybe even top 10 if you want to really get crazy about it.
I mean, I know it's notable for the fact that, like, there's no wire food, there's no CGI, no stunt doubles. Was this a big deal in the early 2000s? Because I love this style of fighting. You know, I saw it in The Protector, and he's just so impressive. And it looks like he's really hitting people. These people,
you don't
look
see
like
any
they're getting
pads,
hit.
you don't see any wires.
No, they look like they're getting hit hard.
You do see stuntman though.
I mean, he's doing all the moves, right?
George, the guy who plays George, the blonde guy.
Black.
Yeah, he in the gas station.
Yeah,
it's clearly a stuntman.
Yeah, when he flips.
Yeah, it is clearly a stuntman.
But man, Tony Jaa is hurdling kids and tables and cars and jumping through barbed wire. He's doing parkour. And some of these moves, like you said, where like there's like one move where there's a flying kick. And he misses with the kicking leg and then kicks the dude with the other leg on his way down. I was like, how the fuck do you even do that? It's so impressive.
Yeah. The movie itself is not a good movie. But as Anthony said, just watching this performance of him in any fight scene, it's like you just got to see it. You got to see it to believe it. And it's great.
Yeah, and it's not even, I mean, the fight choreography itself is good, but it's because of him.
Yeah.
Like there isn't this amazing. It's not like the Raid where you're seeing also amazing camera work and fun
true.
locales. Like you're seeing stuff that, for the most part, it's not super creative, but it's him. It's fucking him. I mean, right away when he challenges when he gets thrown into the pit fight.
Yeah, Big Bear.
And he knocks the guy out with a kick that it looks like a kick, but it's really his knee that he throws up as a kick.
Yeah.
And you just go, what the fuck?
What happened?
I'm sure at the time a lot of people were like, wait a minute, he just used his knee like that?
Dude, Did
he just bring his knee up to that guy's face like that?
There's a couple of things I love about the style. All the knee work, the flying knee through the chest, through plate glass. And then all like the elbow strikes to the head seem very brutal.
I don't think he throws a punch in the entire movie.
Yeah, barely. I mean, he's swinging.
He's hitting with his elbows.
He's hitting with his elbows, his knee, his shin.
Feet.
Yeah, his feet. And like you said, Ruggs, he's just doing backflips and kick you in the head. But he's
doing this thing too where he like brings his one leg behind his other to block kicks.
Yeah.
Like he'll kick your leg with his back leg behind his other leg.
What the fuck?
It's hard to describe.
Yeah.
It's like he's doing like a river dance almost thing.
A little bit. I love how he uses the knee for protection to block a lot of things too.
I like to when I remember there's a scene where he flips onto the what the fuck are those called? On those buildings when they're building
the scaffolding. Yeah.
And someone comes up and he just like pushes the guy down.
Yeah.
But he does it in a way that's like so elegant yet forceful that it's like, wait, all he did was just push him.
Yes, but it looks awesome.
He like throws like a palm strike and pushes the guy down. It's just, he's spectacular.
And
yeah, he walks on people twice in this movie.
That's great. Oh, he does lots of splits too, which puts him, in the Jean-Claude fucking category of splits over like sharp metal objects and a bunch of things. He does some amazing things, but I wanted to ask you, let's get back to that.
Should we stay on how amazing he is?
Yes.
Or do you want to get...
No.
Well, we might as well bring it up because of how amazing. This guy is so amazing.
Yeah.
And we brought this up when I talked about it.
Yeah.
In What Are We Watching? This guy's so amazing that they had to have lit his legs on fire.
Yes.
And he does a kick while his legs are on fire.
He looks like Gamera.
Oh my God.
He's like he's flying in a circle.
It's another like Van Damme thing from like Hard Target. He flies
but
through
his legs are on
flames,
fire.
His legs on fire and continues to beat the guy up and then just puts him out later.
While he's on fire.
That's fucking great. That's fucking great. We could go through, I want to go through some of these fight scenes and these chase scenes, but I wanted to know about the technique of showing the instant replay. You see him do these moves, and then they show it from all three angles, kind of breaking the flow of time in a movie. But I heard, didn't Bruce Lee do this in some of his movies? Did somebody else do this?
It's been done in... I think they did it in Street Fighter and stuff like that. I think they've done it in other movies. You're going to watch it anyway. You're going to rewind it if you wanted to.
I personally fucking love it because you have this guy doing great stunts and they filmed it from three angles. Why waste it? Show me all of it.
It is odd. They could have tried to edit it together so it flowed better, but they just literally...
They're just like, show it again. But I mean, you have this guy doing death-defying shit and you caught it perfect, three angles, use them all.
Yeah,
why waste it?
I agree with you, Imran. It looks like they caught it from three angles, and they were like,
which one do we use?
This is literally one of those things where they were going, this guy is so spectacular that you need to see this three times, and we're going to do you a fucking solid.
Yeah, you want to see
We're not
going
to let you rewind it.
Yeah.
You can just fucking see it. It's not the great, it's actually a shit technique. I don't know. I don't really know. I wouldn't recommend any other movies doing this,
Right.
but for him, it works.
If you have Tony Jaa,
if you're gonna have a guy jump through a ring of barbed wire and not even nothing but net, just swish right through it, and you got it on film. You're gonna want to show that shit.
I love that first chase scene because there's also comedy moments. I kind of loved the George character. He was great. He reminded me of a Thai Jim Norton. Ruggs doesn't he look like
a little bit?
He's like a Thai, but his comedic moments where Tony Jaa Ting would do a move and then he would try to do the same move and sometimes his pants would rip or he'd hit a barrel. It's funny. He was funny.
He brings the knives out.
Yeah, and then the knife lady walks by going, knives for sale. Like, that shit is funny.
And then they cut to him getting chased with everyone now has a knife.
And then I even see like Tony Jaa doing like breakdancing moves. He was doing like a backspin while kicking people on a table, sliding under the car, hurdling cars, flipping off the scaffolding, walking on their heads. Oh my God. Everything in that scene was fantastic. And then you get him coming back to the Fight Club and he fights 3 fucking people in a row, just like he does in The Protector.
Was that all the same guy in a different wig, or is it
possibly
the one dude that's Asian with an afro?
Yeah. Well,
I'm like, that's the worst wig in the world. What are they doing?
That guy looked like Richard Dowd from the IT Crowd. But first, it's Ting versus Big Bear, who looks like a professional wrestler, and
also wearing a terrible wig.
He's wearing a bad wig. I love the little detail how he doesn't want to fight, but anytime like a female gets hurt or is in danger, that's what gets him in.
Well, he's a noble guy because they start the movie off by saying that Muay Thai is a dangerous thing.
Oh, that's hilarious. Like his trainer goes, "I taught you Muay Thai. Now never use it." And then he just walks away. And the guy's like, "All right." And all the moves have like animal and names. Like he's doing the moves and saying the names. That was pretty cool.
The funny thing about this movie is that Tony Jaa walks into the fight pit, and that's where Ong Bak is. Like the movie's over. He could have just
the head was right
that
there
out.
with the dude with the voice box in the wheelchair. What a great bad guy. Not really, but inconsistent voice box usage too. Did you notice at the end he's not using the fucking thing? He's
everybody hears him fine.
Yeah, I don't understand what's going on. Okay, so in that fight he beats Big Bear, and I love Big Bear just going fuck Muay Thai, and he gives him a couple of elbows to the head and bows in respect. Then he's got to fight that dude in the fro who's like dancing. And then I really love like the different styles going up against him. This dude is dancing and Ting is just not moving at all, just standing solid, just waits for his moment to fucking strike. And then he fights a dude named Mad Dog. It's not Yaya Ruyan. It's a white guy this time, but it's a character named Mad Dog. And this dude fights dirty. That was a great end of this fucking scene where he's just using everything, chairs, tables, refrigerators, fucking a live electric wire to fight him. And he still beats him with that flying knee to the chest off the table. It's awesome.
And then he makes it rain.
Then they make it rain and they throw coins at him. It's a good moment.
You're talking about that fight.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
I did like that when they start incorporating all the surroundings. Like they start moving it from the pit to they're using tables and all glass and all this shit.
I did love every time he goes, "Hamlai, I know you. You're Hamlai." And the guy's like, "Shut up. My name's George."
Well, I think that that scene that just comes up where the bad guy shoves the drugs in the girl's face.
Yeah, that's weird.
And she has the overdose.
Yeah.
That was pretty fucking out of left field, and it felt like a bit much, but yeah, this movie goes in weird ass places.
Well, that leads right into another fantastic chase scene with tuk-tuks, or otherwise known as rickshaws in India. I guess in Thailand they're called tuk-tuks.
Before you get into those, though, like I do want to touch on that because that's what I meant by this movie being kind of quirky and definitely not Western.
Yeah,
because there's scenes like that. That scene's just like kind of not great to watch.
Yeah.
And then, but then there's a lot of like comedy. There's a lot of like almost slapstick type humor.
Yeah.
But then later on too, you get Humle George.
Yeah.
His arm gets like severely broken. They show that.
Yeah. Some snapping.
So it's just like one of these, and then the movie's kind of like somewhat based in reality. Then you have the thing where the villain like sticks like 4 needles in himself, like it's Universal fucking Soldier.
Oh yeah, he juices up super hard.
And then
what's going on?
He defends like a saw attack.
Oh
with
God,
his arms.
yeah. That's fucking.
And he
brutal.
barely has a scratch on him.
Hey, wait! Before we get to that, this chase scene is kind of fun. It's great. It has one crazy, ridiculous moment where they're chasing Ting, and I love them. They're flying off the bridge. They're smashing these things, but Ting clears this like platform and a construction site that's holding big giant pipes, right? And it shears off the top of his ride. And then the first bad guy crashes into the pipes, goes flipping vertically directly in the air while 4 other tuk-tuk crash into the thing and explode while the thing is still flipping in the air above them. And it lands right on top of them. That was some amazing contrivance.
Isn't Humley in one of those? and
he
he's
is.
fine in the next.
No,
thing?
he's in a separate one. They meet up later. They were in two separate ones at that point. They started in one. And then hilariously, the chase ends with them driving off a pier, conveniently right where the bad guy has been storing stolen religious artifacts underwater, and he just kind of stumbles on all these stolen pieces.
Yeah, what was the bad guy's deal? He was just stealing like Ong Baks and just putting them underwater.
No, but why is he chopping heads off fucking Buddhas?
I think what I read, it was confusing as well. But I read something where the bad guy Don, is it Don?
No, Don is the shitty gang member.
Yeah, no, but that's he originally steals the thing.
Yeah,
and he thinks it's valuable, and that voice box guy will like it, and the voice box guy doesn't like it.
No, Don is a shitty gang member. He's constantly fucking things up, and voice box guy is constantly yelling at him, calling him.
Yeah, there's that too, which we just the main villain has a voice box and is in a wheelchair like the entire movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gambling in this movie.
There's a lot of gambling and losing. And then we get to the rope fight match at the end, where it was also confusing. Did Ting know that he was throwing the fight?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Because he does get beat. I love the training montage where Tony Jaa is wrapping himself in rope and the other guy is just juicing up with a syringe. It's showing the differences and like nothing affects him.
Drago.
Yeah, and he's hitting him and nothing's happening. And he gets stomped through the table. There's an amazing clothesline where Tony Jaa just goes flying and spinning. And I'm like, how are these fuckers not getting hurt doing this shit? This looks amazing. And then some more action as they're taken to this weird remote location. The bad guy reneges on this deal, and they're about to be killed, and they fight and they escape. And this is where Ting flies through flames with his legs on fire. I also love the other move where he jumps off the pickup truck and kicks the dude on the motorcycle.
And his helmet splits in half.
Right in his head. Luckily, he's wearing a helmet. Nothing happened. I think that was Don also.
Yeah, that was Don.
And then you have the final climactic sequence in this cave where
For some reason,
it's in a cave where there's a giant Buddha or voice box guy is cutting the head off the Buddha. I'm like, what? Why are you even doing this? Like, why are you cutting the head? Is this just petty at this point?
Why are they building a Buddha head in a cave?
In a cave, I don't know.
Maybe it's like an ancient Buddha head that's been in that cave, and he just like,
he's
all right, I
extracting
guess this is what I'm doing. I'd be known for cutting off Buddha head.
I'm the Buddha head guy. I'm just gonna cut them all off. But this, on his way to meet that guy, Ting easily fights 20 people in groups of 5. With different weapons, he's got a staff at one point.
Yeah.
While they have swords, and he does that cool like circular move where he draws the lines in the sand in a half circle. It's fucking badass.
When he gets those fucking billy clubs.
Yeah, what is that? He straps these metal things to his arms.
So he looked like he was robbing fucking Nightwing and shit.
And it smashes people. What I didn't mention, what's funny, The Protector, which I watched last week, at the end of that movie, he does the same thing, only with giant elephant bones. He straps on elephant bones on his forearms for the last fight, just like here. It's a little bit better here. It makes more sense. And yeah, he's fighting up. I mean, the scene where he does like multiple spin kicks in a row, takes out 2 guys, and then just another spin kick in the air as like a drop kick to the guy that's on the ground, all in one flip. I'm like, holy fuck! The backflip kicks, the saw blade into the forearms. This is where that happens. That looked like it hurt. And then
evidently though, it didn't cut his skin really. It's just like a little blood.
He's bleeding a little bit. Oh wait, there was one thing earlier when he's getting ready for the rope match fight. I didn't understand. He ties the rope on, and then he puts this thing in his mouth. And then he like spits on his arms. Does anybody know what that is?
Yeah, that's in the village before they send him on the mission. They said, "I'm giving you these special herbs.
Oh, in the beginning,
they'll make you feel no pain."
Oh. I didn't.
And so he puts it in his mouth, and he starts sucking on the juice, and he sprays it all over
his arms
to numb his arms. Yeah.
Oh shit! Oh, I'm glad there's an explanation for that. Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that.
You got to pay attention in the very beginning because.
There was a lot. Yeah, there's a little bit of exposition. And then this is where Homelai's arm gets snapped. And then he fucking brutally snaps that dude's leg. Like just thinking about what that must have felt like had me cringing. There's some brutal moves. And then we get to the final boss fight. This is where he puts the thing in his mouth. Yeah. And the bad guy
Injects himself.
He's getting beat, and he just has 4 syringes, and he just shoves them into his chest. His eyes go red. And then to win, Ting has to summon the power of the Buddha. The whole concept of like this pacifist monk who is just fucking good at fighting is also kind of funny. And like he needs to summon the power of Buddha to fight and be violent.
Mm-hmm.
It's interesting. I like it. But
yeah, no, it was good. I mean, the Humle kind of sacrifices himself for him, and voice box guy gets crushed by a Buddha head.
But a big head, great ironic ending. You got what was coming.
I do like the fact that Tony Jaa double knees someone through the scaffolding.
The ground is amazing. Yeah. That's the finishing move on that dude, on the bad guy. Double knees.
It's memorable. It's kind of memorable.
And Ting, I mean, again, like this happens in The Protector, and again, like John Wick, by the end of it, I'm like, I'm exhausted. This fucking guy just fought like 30 people, and I just got beat the shit out and came back and. Oh, it's so it's so good. It's so immersive in this fighting.
Yeah, I mean, what more can you say? I mean, every scene is just a showcase for Tony Jaa doing more spectacular shit, jumping off shit, doing flips, using weapons, introducing this style of Muay Thai that you touch upon. Not a lot of people had seen before. I can only imagine being transported back to that time and watching it for the first time, being Ruggs and seeing all the Hong Kong stuff, and then watching this and being like, wait a minute, you could use other parts of your body like this? Like, what is this?
Yeah.
Like,
I ran through the streets telling everyone I knew about this movie. Like, you guys got to watch this movie. Come over to my house and watch this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, I was so excited when I saw this for the first time.
But it wasn't Muay Thai was around, but in some kind of.
Well, I mean, it was around. So Kickboxer with Jean-Claude Van Damme is a Muay Thai movie as well.
Okay.
Now, Jean-Claude Van Damme doesn't do a ton of Muay Thai in it, but that is a Muay Thai movie that's based in Thailand. And then also UFC was doing, I mean, it wasn't popular then, but they had been doing Muay Thai for a while.
You had Sagat in Street Fighter, too.
You also had Sagat in Street Fighter, who was a Muay Thai specialist, but no one was doing it like that. Like, no one had seen it like this. So you are right in that it kind of popularized it way more, especially on film. No one put it on in film this well. Did it this well? I'm sure it was been on film, but no one did it the way Tony Jaa was doing it.
I don't think anybody does Muay Thai like he does. I don't think there's a lot of guys that can pull the shit off.
You gotta be so athletic and springy and strong. I got to credit Street Fighter actually for educating me on a lot of fight styles, because I love how you see the different fight styles. I love how we saw Salat in the Raid. We see Muay Thai in this, but in that one, there's a capoeira guy. So I learned about capoeira from Street Fighter, and I probably saw Muay Thai in Street Fighter 2 as well. But that game really does. It gives you they gives you a wide array of martial arts. And then you're like, oh, I know that. It's from Street Fighter.
If you love fighting movies, you gotta love Street Fighter.
Well, Street Fighter and to a lesser extent, Mortal Kombat. Yeah, definitely Street Fighter taught you like ball rock, boxer.
Yeah.
Sagat, Muay Thai, capoeira. What was capoeira again?
Blanca.
Well, yeah, the dancing around Brazilian.
Yeah. So I mean,
and there's other characters now that do better, but yeah.
Muay Thai has a little bit of, it seems a little bit like capoeira and some of like the flipping and the spinning.
No, Muay Thai doesn't incorporate the flipping. Is Tony Jaa's thing.
Oh, okay.
The Muay Thai is more of like it's called 8 points of contact: 2 fists, 2 elbows, 2 knees, 2 feet.
Oh, yeah. Sometimes he's hitting him with all of those things. At the same
lot
time.
of Muay Thai is actually not that extravagant. If you watch a real Muay Thai fight, a lot of it's them two in the clinch trying to knee each other, elbow each other.
Did kickboxing come out of Muay Thai then?
Kickboxing is kind of Muay Thai.
They're interchangeable in a lot of ways.
Asian kickboxing kind of. Kickboxing is like not as much knee and elbow work. It's just a little different, but I mean they're kind of similar. They're like sisters.
There's some interesting production notes here. Apparently, during the foot chase scene through the alleys, these people were looking for funding from big Hollywood people. There is a writing on one of the shop house doors that says, "Hi Spielberg, let's do it together." So he wanted to work with Spielberg. And then during the tuk-tuk chase, a pillar on the left side of the screen reads, "Hi, Luc Besson, we are waiting for you," which is another guy. So Luc Besson, actually, his company, Europa Corp, got the sales rights for Outside Asia for Ong Bak, and he re-edited the film. There are alternate versions, and I'm not sure which version we saw. It says here, most of the subplot involving Mui Lek's sister, Ngek, that was the girl who died overdosed, was removed, and the final showdown between Ting and Saming was shortened. EuropaCorp also rescored the soundtrack with some hip-hop sounds, replacing the Thai rock score. Apparently, this is the version we watched, because I did enjoy the hip-hop music in this, and I kind of like some of the music, and some of the score is very good. The Hong... no, you don't like it?
The score is kind of dated. It's a very 2000s score.
They got that one very 80s or 90s hip-hop guy going, rock the beat. That was like using everything. Rock the beat. Like it's sampled over and over again. But I was like, oh, hip-hop, I like this. Also, RZA and the Wu-Tang love this fucking movie. They're big fans. Yeah. The Hong Kong cut of the film's theatrical release omits a bone-breaking sequence towards the end where George's arm is snapped. Oh, they took that out. An alternative ending offered on the Thai, US, Australian, and UK DVD releases has Hung Lai surviving. He is seen at the end bandaged up, limping with his arm broken, supported by his parents. I think it's better that he makes a sacrifice. Perhaps. I mean, his dad was sending him letters and he just kept discarding them.
Yeah, what a dick, I'm like.
I'm okay with them killing him because I was like, I grew fond of that character. He was really funny. And then I was like, oh, he ended up making the ultimate sacrifice.
The ultimate.
So I was okay. And then there's Ong Bak 2 and 3, which are prequels. 2 is a prequel and 3 is it starts with 2 ends. And of course he goes on. He also made The Protector in the same year, 2005.
He does another movie with Hung Lai, the guy who plays Hung Lai, called The Bodyguard, I believe.
Oh, yes, he does The Bodyguard. I feel like I've seen that guy. I think he was in The Protector also, that guy, briefly.
He might be.
Yeah, like they're all buddies.
They're always like buddies in every movie.
So, here's the big question, and Ruggs, you answered it up front. Is this the best martial arts movie of its time or of all time?
I think it's definitely in the conversation. It's, for me, to watch a movie I've seen about 3 or 4 times and still be wowed by it every time I see it.
Yeah.
It's a testament to Tony Jaa. It really is the ability to capture this stuff on film. I don't know how you make $1 million and pack it with this much action that's memorable. Yeah. And it's all down to one person. So it's like, I don't know if it's a good movie, but it's an amazing capturing of this type of athleticism and just command of their body. And I think that that's entertaining enough just on its own without even being a great film. So I don't know what to say. I can't really say it's a great movie, but I can tell you it's a great time. It is spectacular, and it is never going to be repeated again. I think this is the thing with Ong Bak, is that every movie after this movie is just like they're trying to capture this magic again. And even though The Protector is good and it's got some great scenes in it, it's still like you're going to have a hard time placing it above Ong Bak. It's like either going to be right alongside it or maybe a little bit just a tad lesser.
I mean, this is a better made movie than The Protector. The Protector has some impressive scenes, but I feel like this is a little more consistent. It's just better made, better edited. Well, the editing in The Protector is fucking horrible. But Anthony, best martial arts movie, and why hasn't Tony Jaa? Why isn't he bigger? What happened?
Well, he's older now.
He can't speak English.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably not the best. Probably not the best actor. Doesn't speak English all that well.
Neither does Jackie Chan, though. But Jackie Chan is he's charming.
He does speak English, and he's charming, and he did a lot of
comedy,
situational stuff too, which helps, like the situational comedy.
Right.
Whereas Tony Jaa it's that athleticism, just that doesn't stay forever.
No, it is.
I know
impressive.
Jackie Chan still kind of can do some stuff. Was doing stuff late, but they kind of masked that too with the comedy.
The biggest movie he was in the Fast, Furious, and 7. And do you think they used him to the best? Do you think he stood out, like, really at all?
No, not really.
Furious 7, and then he's in Triple X, Return of Xander Cage, and then he's in that Jiu-Jitsu movie with fucking Nick
don't
Cage
even bring that up.
from 2020. He's in Monster
Frank Grillo's
Hunter.
in that one.
Yeah.
He's in the Expendables 4 coming out.
Oh, he is. That's up. There's one upcoming role. Oh, I'm glad they got him in that. Okay.
So going back to your question, is this the best martial arts movie? It's certainly up there. I mean, I don't know if you can rate it the best in terms of the story's just not great.
Yeah.
But it's not horrible either. It's just kind of a story.
Yeah.
So in that sense, but as far as like his athleticism, I dare you to think of anything better. I mean, the only thing I can think of is something we just reviewed with the Raid.
Yeah.
The Raid isn't, but Iko Uwais, based on these two films, Ruggs has probably seen more, but Iko Uwais also is athletic, but it's not jump off the screen athletic. It's more just the fight choreography is so fucking detailed, and he's doing it for so long.
And the director is a big part of it.
I think that if you watch The Raid, there's more cuts in the fight scenes, and I think it's way more planned out because in interviews with the director, he said that he planned things out very meticulously. I feel like that this also planned well, but I think this relies more on, like, you can't cut these moves together.
Right.
You can't have him flipping and going through barbed wire and flipping through glass and whatever. It's gotta be it's all on camera.
Yeah. And that's why they show it 3 times. Because
they gotta show it to you 3
he
times.
He snaps a lot of arms in this last battle scene when he's getting there.
Yeah. And people are taking real hits.
Yeah.
And you can see it. And people are falling off trees and shit.
I mean, again, it's so real looking. I'm like, these guys are actually getting hit. It seems a little more organic, to your point, than the very strictly choreographed stuff in The Raid. It's like, here's the general plan and just keep the camera rolling.
How much did The Raid cost to make?
I think that was also $1 million.
They're both great $1 million movies.
They really are.
Like, you're really, for dollar, you get a ton of more entertainment in those 2 movies than like half the movies that are made.
Are these sequels any good? Have you seen those, Ruggs? 2 and 3, the prequels?
It goes off the rails. I think I don't recall them being that entertaining or memorable.
Okay.
It was because it's all set in the past and it's a period piece, and it relies more on. There are some. I just don't remember it. I remember seeing it. I remember it, like, watching it, but I wasn't like, remember, hey, I got to watch that again. Or I feel like Ong Bak was better. I feel like the first one was better.
What happened? It's about Ting before any of this happens.
No. This is you go in the past, like in the past.
Oh, and Tony Jaa actually plays somebody else.
Where you actually see these guys that protect the elephants and all that mythology. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he just
these
plays
warriors.
He plays
Thai warriors.
A completely different character. Oh, interesting. Okay, same. Yeah. Oh, he directed the second one and the third one. Interesting. And
I feel like they're. I don't know if they're bad movies at all. I just don't think that they rise to the excitement level of Ong Bak. There's something about Ong Bak that is. It's got an electric feel to it.
He made a lot of movies with elephants. It's interesting.
He loves
elephants in all the movies. By the way, Roger Ebert, before we rate it, gave it 3 stars.
Oh, wow.
And he starts out saying, no stunt doubles, no computer graphics, no strings attached. These 9 words represent the most astonishing element of Ong Bak, the Thai warrior, the first Thai film to break through in the martial arts market. So we got Indonesia, we got the Thai market breaking out in the early 2000s. Very interesting things.
Well, keep in mind, this is before the Raid. This is 7 years before the Raid.
Yes. This came out first, absolutely. Early 2000s.
I think 2004.
That is correct. What did I say here? Yes. 2003.
2003. There you go.
Oh, Protector comes out in 2005. It came out in 2005 here in America, maybe, is what happened. Okay. Any final words? Let's rate the movie. What would you give it, Anthony?
This is a tough movie to rate just because of the fact that the script is kind of whatever. I mean, it's not bad. Like I said, it's not bad. It is quirky with all the different switches in tone. That being said, I mean, Tony Jaa's performance is just so good. It's so spectacular. It's so breathtaking. It's so phenomenal that it kind of overcomes as long as it's edited and competently made, which it somewhat is.
Yeah.
The star of the show is him and what he's doing, and you don't even really see. This isn't one of those things where you watch it now and you've seen a bunch of this shit. Like, you still don't see guys doing this shit.
Yeah.
The way it's made and the music is kind of like dated, but you're not seeing a guy do stuff like this very often. So with that in mind, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.
Oh, nice.
And
Okay.
it's not fucking Schindler's List,
Right.
It's graded on a different scale, but when you're comparing it to action movies, it's a great movie. It's a great action movie.
Yeah,
Great martial arts movie.
Great martial arts. Great. I mean, again, a movie that makes me fucking rewind the scene and watch it over and over again in an action movie. That's never bad. I feel comfortable giving this like an 8.5. No problem. Even though, obviously, like you said, the plot doesn't matter, but the chase scenes, the fight scenes, the athleticism. I've never seen anybody do anything like this, and it's fucking impressive. Ruggs, what are you going to give it?
I love the Ong. I love the Bak. I love the hyphen. I like it all. Okay. What can you say? Anthony said it great.
Buck.
Anthony said it great. Like, it is not a great movie in the technical way of script, story, anything making sense. Really, the motivations of the characters, they're all bad. The acting's bad. The whole thing, there's a female character with the most annoying voice I've ever heard in this, but cute, but like still like very weird. But yeah, Tony Jaa is a spectacle. If you love action and you like to see fucking people do amazing shit, you need to see this movie. 8.5 is a great score. It's fair. I mean, you could give it a 10 just for the athleticism alone.
Absolutely, yes.
But let's bring it back down to the reality and give it. As I said, this is not a film. This is a movie about watching somebody do amazing shit.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. And in that way, it's an 8.5. For sure.
It's Thai is one of those languages that sometimes sounds like the person is just always angry. There's a couple of languages that even when they're saying something happy, they sound like they're just yelling at you and you're in trouble.
I just think it's the actress, the way she talks.
I will tell you, the acting in this is a lot better than The Protector, which is another thing.
Oh, that one's that's what happens. Like, the movies never get as good as Ong Bak. The first one is just Tony Jaa's best. But he does amazing shit in every movie.
He does.
They try to capture the magic in this, and you do get to see him do. If you're hungry for more, there's plenty of other Tony Jaa movies that were made in Thailand and stuff that are pretty good action wise, but terrible story wise. So if you want to sit through another terrible story with Tony Jaa doing crazy shit, there's plenty of them out there.
I mean, the editing in this is great. There's the editing in The Protector. There's one quick scene I'll mention. There's the thing where like the bad guy jumps over this railing on a bridge onto this train that's going underneath him, right? He flips and then Tony Jaa's character follows him. But here's what you see. You see a close-up shot of Tony Jaa's hands grab this railing, and then it just cuts to him landing on top of this train. Like, they didn't even have the money or the time to do the stunt. It's so bad. There's some bad editing, but it has an amazing one-take fucking fight scene in the middle.
And yeah, that's a showpiece.
Yeah, that's the showpiece. This movie is better, but I would recommend, if you like this, watch The Protector. Watch Ong Bak's with the elephants.
Bodyguard. There's that one.
Yeah. So, all right, good stuff. I'm excited. How do you think this will go far in the tournament, fellas?
For $1 million movie, it's going to do pretty well.
I know who it's fighting, so I'm just not going to comment.
I think it beats out a couple of people if it meets on the way in terms of just pure action and athleticism.
It's a very, very solid action movie. Amongst all our picks, it stands out in a lot of ways. So I could certainly see it doing very well.
Is this the Cinderella run of this tournament? There's always one. No, that's going to be RRR. I've already decided. But maybe Ong Bak defeats RRR. We'll see. Okay, let's do some news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation. It's time for news from the nation.
It stinks. It stinks. It stinks.
I'm just going to share one quick comment from our buddy Wes Cranford in Australia about last week's show when, what was it, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 review. He says, I enjoyed the show. Rug Boy reminds me of Mikey from old commercials. He hates everything. I know Rug Boy enjoyed this film, but I swear the three of you bounce off each other so well. Imran loves everything. Anthony's usually in the middle, and Rug Boy is always critical. Love your chemistry, guys. Keep it up. But Jesus, Imran, turn off the TV sometimes and get out of the house. Listen, I leave my house where I got to go get my weed. I got to leave the house. It's not all the time. Sometimes it's delivered. I got to go to work. But I understand what he's saying because I do watch a lot of things. Thank you for the
I just loved Ong Bak, so you can take that to the bank.
Oh, yeah. We're switching it up. Oh, my God. That's a twist. And then the other thing is I was thinking about the Guardians review and MCU trilogies, and we briefly talked about it last week, but I thought it deserved a little further discussion. I put up this poll in our Facebook group, Jock and Nerd Nation. I was kind of dumb, ultimately, now that I think about it. But asking the nation best trilogy in the MCU, and there's a lot of trilogies. Right? You got Iron Man. You got the Ant-Man. You got Captain America. You have Spider-Man. You have Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy. And then Matthew Lawrence actually added in the Avengers, which I would argue is more like two sets of two movies.
Yeah, it's not a
these
trilogy.
two. And even with Thor has 4, and it's really the first 2 or whatever, and then it's a Taika thing. Anyways, coming up with the most amount of votes, Captain America trilogy. And then Guardians second. But we were talking about, is there another series of films that's consistent, has the same director, the same vision, the same voice? I would like to argue that you could throw this Spider-Man trilogy in there.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
As top 3.
And Christopher Nolan's?
No, I'm talking about just in the MCU.
Oh.
The MCU Spider-Man trilogy. Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home. All John Watts.
Yeah, that's a trilogy.
Ant-Man is all Peyton Reed, but those movies are they're whatever. And
It's a trilogy.
It's a trilogy and the same guy. So if you're comparing same guy trilogies, but I think in the running for best it's got to, the top 3 has got to be Captain America, Spider-Man, Guardians. What order? Clearly Captain America number 1, but it's Guardians 3. I think for me, Guardians maybe 3. I don't know.
Some people would put Guardians at number 1.
At number 1, yeah.
This poll, this comic
It's
book
a
movie
toss-up, ultimately.
Oh,
yeah.
So I have a comic book movie.com has ranked all the trilogies. Here's their ranking. At number 6, they have Ant-Man. Number 5, they have Thor. Number 4, Iron Man trilogy. Number 3, Captain America. Number 2, Spider-Man. Number 1, Guardians of the Galaxy. What do we think about that top 3?
Yeah, sounds good to me. Number 2, Spider-Man?
Spider-Man, yeah.
I would put Spider-Man probably 3 or 4.
But Captain
I'd
America.
put Captain America 1, but, whatever.
I mean,
they're interchangeable. It's just your preference.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. The Captain America trilogy has Joe Johnston in the first one, and then it's Russo. Yeah. And Winter Soldier is, possibly, it is arguably one of the best movies they've ever made. It belongs in that trilogy. But really, these aren't even trilogies in terms of a true trilogy, like your Nolan Batman trilogy. So it's weird to kind of rank these against each other. But I just forgot about Spider-Man. I was like, yeah, you know what? John Watts did bring the same energy and charm to all 3 movies. So it's successful. Anyways, that's all. Any other things about trilogies?
Nope.
All right, let's finish up with what are we watching? You guys watch anything other than Ong Bak? Ong Bak. Doobie-da.
I did.
Yeah.
I'll start.
Oh.
I was refraining from commenting, but I did watch The Protector.
Oh, you did?
Tom Yum
Oh, my God.
Goong.
Okay, I got to hear what you think about this movie.
Oh, horribly edited movie.
Yeah, right?
As far
So
the version we got, The Protector. I didn't see Tom Yum Goong, but I mean, just horrible editing, horrible dubbing. It's something weird. Sometimes they're speaking English. The guy that plays Humle is in this movie, and he's playing an Australian cop.
Oh,
and you can tell his English is completely dubbed over, he's not speaking English.
That's who he played.
I don't understand what's going on there. The elephant thing is kind of funny.
Where's my elephant?
There's some really good fight scenes, though. I mean, the one take is spectacular.
Yeah.
Up when he's going up the stairs, that's spectacular. Like, it's fucking great.
Several levels, right? He goes up like several
levels.
How come that's shot so well?
Yeah.
And everything else is edited terribly.
Yeah, I don't understand that.
That's bonkers because, like, that scene just by itself is like a showpiece, and then everything else is like, who edited the rest? Like, what the fuck happened?
Yeah, that's an all-time fight scene within a terrible movie. Again, some of the fights at the end are pretty good too. I mean, it's another showcase for Tony Jaa's athleticism. It's just not as well made as the first one. Other than that fight scene, the one take though is better than anything in the first one. So it's just kind of a weird thing, but ultimately, I think Ong Bak is a hands down better film.
Didn't you love when he strapped the elephant bones to his forearms? That was amazing.
And he fights like all these giants. Yeah, I mean, it's.
Did you see him? Did you see the guy throw the fucking elephant?
Yeah, I did see that. There's one scene where it just like they keep bringing in different martial artists. So you have a capoeira guy and you have a guy with a sword, and it's not even all. They're not even like trying to like make this make sense because it's just like one guy's waiting after the next guy to test himself.
I mean, and that happens in Ong Bak too. It's like kind of sometimes the one at a time.
Well, the one at a time thing, they wrote in that it was more of a like an underground pit thing,
right?
So like they at least kind of wrote it in, but this one he just goes into church that's burning, and there's always like one next guy waiting for him. It's like, no, just kill him.
Well, that guy was watching this whole time while you were fighting.
And I love like he beats up one guy in the church that's burning. And then the next guy steps in, and then you just don't see the body of the guy.
They just made him go away.
He just went away.
Yeah.
But anyways, I mean, it's fun.
Yeah.
And the middle scene is worth.
It is.
Just watch that, and you just be like, "Wow, that's crazy."
Yeah, you don't need to watch the rest.
The end where he fights like 1,000 guys is fun too.
It's fun. Yeah, there's good stuff.
Oh yeah, when all the
plot sucks though.
Yeah, when the
plot sucks, and it just so horribly edited for the American audience. I don't know what Tom Yum Goong was like, but it's just it's a terrible viewing experience for the way they made it for the U.S.
So this is an edited different version, right?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, I looked up. They did a lot of editing.
Okay, to get it maybe shorten the length or less. Yeah. Like why?
I think I might. I'm not sure if I have the Protector or Tom Yum Goong. I might have the OG one on DVD.
It's also like somewhat humorous that they he considers the elephant like a brother.
Yeah.
And then they have these weird cutscenes where they're going to CGI explaining ancient Thailand.
Yeah. Oh yeah, with the weird CG white modeled thing. That was really strange. I was like, what
really
is this?
Strange.
That was
really strange. So yeah.
And the green screen at the end is like really bad, the whole helicopter bit, which is kind of cool, but like
yeah, it's all right. Yeah. It's it's
the bad guy's pretty fun.
Yeah, it kind of fits in the era 2000s movie.
Yeah, the lady with the whip. She had a whip.
Lady with the whip. Yeah. So I saw that, and then also to prep, I saw Man on Fire.
Oh, I gotta watch
Tony
that
Scott's
one.
Man on Fire.
Man, yeah. Tell us about that one.
Ruggs said it very well when we did the picking. It's kind of like the Punisher movie that was never made.
Nice.
In terms of the way Denzel is. Not as action heavy as you would think. Much more character / Tony Scott doing. I'm going to just come out and say I'm not the biggest fan of the way Tony Scott makes movies.
Really? Okay.
No, this was like kind of a chore to watch in terms of the way he edited it.
Yeah.
But Denzel Washington's great. The whole storyline is pretty easy to get latched onto pretty quickly. It's a solid film. I enjoyed it. I don't know that it's like the best action movie, but it's a pretty good movie.
Tony Scott is a lot of like real close up shots, top down lighting.
It's crazy because like, you're trying to find a movie that has action in it. Like you want to watch a movie that has great action in it, you just watch Ong Bak. But it's got a terrible plot. The filmmaking in it is horrible. The acting in it is horrible. So you have all these things where you're trying to find a movie that hits all those marks and has good acting, good script, well shot, well edited. And that's tough. It's in the action genre. That's kind of, you always sacrifice something to a degree.
Right. The John Wicks almost get there, but even they also have the same kind of issue.
They have zero story though.
Yeah.
Right.
Issue.
Yeah. The story is not all that encompassing. It's, but Man on Fire it's a good It's a good story. But have you seen it, Imran?
No.
You've never seen it?
I might have seen it once. I don't remember it well.
I just remember seeing it and going, oh, this movie is dark like The Punisher, and he fucking gets into it like The Punisher.
Dark, yeah. A lot of torture stuff. They don't show a ton.
Is he protecting a little girl?
Yeah, he's trying to get it. He's trying to find a little girl.
He's a bodyguard for a little girl in Mexico that ends up getting kidnapped, and he forms a bond with this girl that kind of like reshapes his life and puts him in a new direction, and he goes out to basically get revenge for the girl.
I've seen this, but I don't remember it. I gotta watch it again.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie. It's on HBO Max.
Oh, nice. The Max. Just Max.
Or on Max, yeah. So those are the two movies I watched in prep for the attorney.
Cool. Ruggs, you watch anything?
I watched Old Boy with John Bellotti.
Uh-huh.
And
we can talk about that later.
It is an interesting film.
Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Sign up for the Patreon for more on that one. Okay, that's it. Okay. Oh, you had a little party with Bellotti. That's nice.
It's a Bellotti party.
Bellotti party. I started watching the show on Apple TV Plus. It's a science fiction show called Silo.
Yeah.
With Rebecca Ferguson's in it.
Mm-hmm.
It's not bad. It's pretty interesting. The premise is somewhere like hundreds of years in the future, what seems to be the last of humanity lives in this tall silo in the ground. I'm talking like 150 floors down. And it's broken up into classes, right? The people who live above are the richer people and the working classes in the bottom. And what happened is 140 years ago, the people in charge are telling the people in the silo 140 years ago, there was a rebellion and the people burned all the books and materials and content. All the relics were destroyed and they ruined the environment, forcing everyone to live in a silo. And they celebrate Freedom Day, which is the day the founders beat the rebellions and built the silo, blah, blah, blah. But there's a mystery. All is not what it seems. Is that the truth? You know, did the rebels actually destroy the things, or was it these people? If you are caught with a relic or an item from before, you're arrested. But it's the society where you have to register to like be in a relationship with someone. Then you got to register and get approved to have a baby. And there's conspiracy theorists down there. And the best thing is when you want to leave, all you have to say is, I want to go out. And they have to let you out. They like arrest you. They put you in a suit. And there's screens and people watch you leave and like die. But the conspiracy amongst the group is that they lied and it's actually breathable air outside. We don't know. So it's not bad. And Rebecca Ferguson's pretty good in this. So
it sounds like a lot of other things, like The Last City of Ember.
Yeah. But there's only 3 episodes out right now, and it comes out
Zion
on Friday. Yeah, so it's another dystopian future fucking sci-fi show.
It's up my alley. I might.
Right,
I'd watch a movie about it. I don't know if I'm about to watch a series about it.
Yeah, it's. I don't know how many episodes it'll be, 6 or 8, but I was digging it. It's good. It's good. Along with everything else is good. Like the Ted Lasso's been great. Yellow Jackets is great. Dave is great. And then I don't go outside West Cranford. I'm watching all these shows. Basically. All right, that's it, gang. Thanks for listening.
That's it, gang.
That's good. That's good. That's good. Let's get it. Ruggs, where can the listener find you online?
On Twitter at ReallyRugBoy. Come follow me, retweet me. Just I'm not really doing much, so that's the only place that you can find me.
Find them there. Link in the episode description. You can follow us on all the socials. Most importantly, share the show. Get it out there. Spread the geekery. Thank you for listening to the Jock and Nerd podcast. My name is Imran.
My name's Anthony.
He's the Jock.
He's the nerd.
We'll peep you next time.
I really don't give a shit.
My balls was hot.
Oh, classic.
Oh,
Gentlemen, this is Democracy Manifest.
Jock and Nerd. Ta-ta and farewell. Ong Bak. Ong Bak.
What were they called? Didn't the Hanson brothers make a song about this movie?
Ong Bak.
Ong Bak. Leave it out.
Put that at the end of the show.